Hello, everyone. We are back with the International Great Black Read Aloud Day month for Black History. We're going to do it all month for the 28 days in Black History and maybe beyond. It depends on Miss L.D. Robinson, who is the founder of the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. And so if she would like us to continue, of course, we will into the month of March. But today is about raising children. It's February the 20th on the calendar. All of my children are grown, and so re-raising them is probably not something I want to talk about. First of all, raising children now is very different than raising children when I was in the midst of raising children. So I'm going to leave those to the people who are actually raising children now, and so they can talk about how they are navigating that in a world where everything is electronic. And so we spent most of our time outside, and most of the time raising my children, we spent outside. And so things are very, very different. But tomorrow, February 21st, is about marriage. And so I am not currently married. I was married, but there are some myths that I'd like to kind of debunk that have been put out there that give us the feeling that African Americans do not marry. And so this article was by Nadira Kareem Nettle. It was updated January 20th, 2020. And I'd like to just talk about the top 4 myths about Black marriage. Do Black people get married? That question has been asked in one form or another in a series of news reports about Black marriage crisis. On the surface, such stories seem to be concerned about Black women in search of love, but these media reports have fueled stereotypes about African Americans. And by suggesting that too few Black men are available to wed, news stories on Black marriage have done little more than predict doom and gloom for African American women who hope to marry. In reality, Black marriage isn't reserved for the likes of Barack and Michelle Obama. Analysis of census data and other figures have debunked much of the misinformation that the media has reported about the Black marriage rate. Black women don't marry. The barrage of news reports about the Black marriage rate gives the impression that African American women's chances of walking down the aisle are bleak. A Yale University study found that just 42% of Black women are married, and a variety of high-profile news networks such as CNN and ABC picked up that figure and ran with it. But researchers Ivory A. Tolson of Howard University and Bryant Marks of Morehouse College questioned the accuracy of this finding. The often cited figure of 42% of Black women never marrying includes all Black women 18 and older. Tolson told TheRoot.com, raising this age is an analysis eliminates age groups we don't really expect to be married and gives a more accurate estimate of true marriage rates. In other words, why are we using figures of Black women who are 18 years of age, when the average Black woman doesn't even get married until she's 25 to 35? So that's almost a 10-year, 15-year span of people that are being analyzed that wouldn't have gotten married anyway. So that's what that new analysis needs to be done. Tolson and Marks found that 75% of Black women marry before they turn age 35 after examining census data from 2005 to 2009. Plus, Black women in small towns have higher marriage rates than white women in urban centers such as New York and Los Angeles, Tolson remarked in the New York Times column. Educated Black women have it harder. Getting a college degree is the worst thing a Black woman can do if she wants to get married, right? Not exactly. News stories about Black marriage often mention that more Black women pursue higher education than Black men by a 2-to-1 ratio. according to some estimates. But what these articles leave out is that white women also earned college degrees more than white men do, and this gender imbalance hasn't hurt white women's chances of matrimony. What's more, Black women who finish college actually improve their chances of marrying rather than lowering them. Among Black women, 70% of college graduates are married by 40, whereas only about 60% of Black high school graduates are married by that age. Tara Parker Pope of the New York Times reported. The same trend is at play for Black men. In 2008, 76% of Black men with a college degree married by age 40. In contrast, only 63% of Black men with just a high school diploma tied the knot. So education increases the likelihood of marriage for both African American men and women. Also, Tolson points out that Black women with college degrees are more likely to marry than white female high school dropouts. Rich Black men marry out. Black men drop Black women as soon as they reach a certain level of success, don't they? While plenty of rap stars, athletes, and musicians may choose to date or marry interracially, when they achieve fame, the same is not true for the bulk of successful Black men. By analyzing census data, Tolson and Marks found that 83% of married Black men who earned at least $100,000 annually got hitched to Black women. The same is the case for educated Black men of all incomes. 85% of Black male college graduates married Black women. Generally, 88% of married Black men, no matter their income or educational background, have Black wives. This means that interracial marriage should not alone be held responsible for the singleness of Black women. Black men don't earn as much money as Black men. Just because Black women are more likely to graduate from college than their male counterparts doesn't mean that they out-earn Black men. Actually, Black men are more likely than Black women to bring home at least $75,000 annually. Also, double the number of Black men than women make at least $250,000 annually because of pervasive gender gaps in income. Black men remain the breadwinners in the African American community. These numbers indicate that there are plenty of financially secure Black men for Black women. Of course, not every Black woman is looking for a breadwinner. Not every Black woman is even seeking marriage. Some Black women are happily single. Others are gay, lesbian, or bisexual, and were unable to legally marry those they loved until 2015, when the Supreme Court overturned the ban on gay marriage. For heterosexual Black women in search of marriage, however, the forecast is not nearly as gloomy as has been reported. Now, in my research, I did find that there are some major cities that you might want to move to, like San Diego, that have a larger percentage of Black men who are working and making over $100,000 a year. And so maybe we'll look at that on a Zoom in on a fresh conversation to see exactly where this debunks and all these myths are coming from about Black women and Black marriage and how we don't celebrate it, but we really do. We celebrate marriage. We celebrate our connections. We celebrate our children. And so let's start speaking a different dialogue about how it is that we love each other. So this is the International Great Black Read Aloud Day. And tomorrow it's going to be about marriage. And thank you very much for joining me. And I hope you do take a moment to read out loud. Good night.